And there we go. We're on.
Oh, wait, don't
Just
stop
a
it.
Okay. Yeah, we're on.
Right. I just want to double check. Paul, did you get my message before about introducing yourself? Obviously, we'll cut this bit out.
No, I didn't.
Right. So it's just, you know, the part where I'm saying today we're in.
You've cut out there.
Like what you do. I think it's better if I say today we're interviewing and then introduce you and then you can say a bit about yourself. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Do you know the bit where it says today we're interviewing, name and explaining what they're doing?
I've only got my Zoom thing on. I haven't got like notes or anything next to us, so I've just.
All right. Well, all I was going to say was, can you I'll introduce you, but then if you can just say what your position is on this and like why you're here, basically, like why you want to take part, because I think it's better you explaining why.
No,
that makes sense. Right. So start from now. So can I edit that bit out? Right. So hi all, my name's Ashley Farley.
Hi there, I'm Paul Elliot.
Hi, I'm Kunal.
And we're first year psychology students, and we're currently working on a media piece for one of our university assignments surrounding BDSM and how it's not domestic or sexual abuse. Today we're interviewing Paul Elliot. Would you like to say a bit about yourself, Paul?
I'm 29 from South Shields. I've been into BDSM since I was like 4 or 5. I know it sounds really weird, okay, but like that's when I started like delving into it.
Interest,
yeah. Obviously not knowing exactly what it was, but you know the mentality of it was there. And yeah, it's just evolved from there.
Thank you for that. So obviously you've just said you've been interested in it since a young age. How long have you actually known what BDSM is and practiced
Probably
BDSM?
Since I was about 11.
Right.
Yeah, 11.
So Sorry,
go on.
I was just going to say, so when you first knew what BDSM was, did you learn from like a media source? Was it from a media source that you learned about it?
Yeah, pornography was the first time of like, oh, okay, like I didn't realize that this was a thing, but
yeah,
this is cool.
So how do you think that was portrayed in the pornography that you watched? Is it accurate to how it is in real life?
I would say yes. However, there is some like scenes where you think, hold on a minute, that's not right. Like, but that's delving deeper into it, and you know, there's obviously corruption everywhere. You know, there'll be people who are into BDSM like take it far too far, and there'll be people that practice it safely. But like I say, there's always extremes, and you know, with everything. So
yeah, it's like that in anything that you do, isn't it?
Exactly.
Not just within BDSM. So, what was your initial impression of BDSM when you first sort of seen it in the media and stuff like that? Was it something
in the media? Like the first time I've ever seen it in the media was actually 50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
And well, when I first, I didn't read the book. I wasn't really interested, but I watched the film, and I was a bit like, what the hell? Like this is crazy. Like it was so different from what I expected.
How did you expect it? What did you think? Like what was
first of all, I never expected Christian Grey to have your husband. To have such a like bad background, and for that to be his outlet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It almost portrayed it to be like psychologically wrong.
Right, yeah, I get you. So
Whereas I don't think it is. I think people with like absolutely sane minds can do it. And
yeah. So what you're saying is, from the 50 Shades of Grey perspective, he's done that because he's had a traumatic experience, and
well, that's what's portrayed anyway.
Yeah. So they're trying to portray it like that, whereas actually people who haven't had any trauma in their life can still be in BDSM, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm just gonna have a look on the next question. So there's been a lot of stigma surrounding BDSM and kinks. What are your general views regarding BDSM misconceptions and obviously other kink misconceptions?
See, I don't know, because I kind of think for anyone else, so I just don't only know what my views are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think that's just the only one that I can say is people who practice BDSM are like wrong in the head. Like, why would you want to tie someone up with stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like,
or why would you want to be
tied?
Yeah.
But aside from that, I because I'm not them, I don't understand it.
So one of the misconceptions surrounding BDSM is, well, some people can associate it with like domestic or sexual abuse.
Right, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. So what are your views on that? Like, how is it different to?
Obviously, you ask first. You don't just dive in. You always get consent. You always have safe words.
Yeah.
You always, how's this? How's it going? You don't just. So it's very safe. I don't understand why it could be. deemed as abuse. The minute it gets uncomfortable for anyone, it's like, right, okay, that's not nice. I don't like that. Take it off. Do it.
Yeah.
It's very consenting.
In some ways, you could possibly say it's safer than just vanilla sex, really, isn't it? There's a lot of discussion and a lot of communication beforehand.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like with vanilla sex, some people randomly like to choke others. Okay, and that's and however the other person might be seriously uncomfortable with that, as you would. You know what I mean? I can understand that. And that's not even like, that's just like a normal thing that happens.
Yeah.
So it's so wrong as well, without even like
nobody bats an eyelid at that. Yeah.
You would at least see, oh, do you like getting choked during sex, before you go and choke someone during sex? Like,
yeah.
But anyway.
That's a good point to make. Actually, it is. I never even thought about that. That is something that's just sort of done without discussing, and nobody says anything about it. Nobody really talks about it, do they?
No.
So, what do you think triggers these misconceptions around BDSM? Like both with the one that you said and obviously the domestic abuse.
I think not having doing it before.
Yeah.
I think being very close-minded on it, and I think just not trying it, not going for it, could be make you a bit
being uneducated.
Yeah. I think once you delve into it, that's your mind opens up to it. Or at least I hope.
Yeah. You're definitely a lot more open-minded about things, I think, once you've just gave it a go even. So do you think porn influences sexual behaviour in individuals and promotes sexual or domestic abuse in some situations? Maybe more so than anything else.
Stevie made a valid point there, definitely in younger people.
Yeah.
The impression is easier.
Young lads think all women are dirty fucking, they've got all the time in the world and they all want to be told them all this, that, the other. And in reality, a lot of them are just experiencing it themselves, just learning themselves what they want to do.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think a lot of people like young people, at that time, porn is their only sex outlet, if you want to call it that. It's the only thing that they can say and experience it through. So I totally agree with that. So BDSM generally involves a relationship of some sort between a dominant figure and a submissive figure. To your knowledge, is this true?
Mostly yes, but anyone can flip roles if they want to do, or if they feel, they want to do. There's always a favourite factor in it, isn't there?
Yeah, like one that you would rather be.
Yeah.
So
I want that you despise doing the other of, and it's just like, no, I'm not doing that.
I've heard a lot of people say that with regard to like control and dominance, that it's the submissive that's usually actually the one that's the most in control. What are your views on that?
100%, without a doubt. Well, 100% control within the trust of the relationship.
Yeah.
If you break the trust and then abuse the control that you have, then obviously you've got more control, but then you lose trust. If you want trust and control, then you've got to give power to the submissive as well.
Yeah. And the submissive control, like, not controls, but sort of decides what happens and what doesn't, really, don't they?
That's it.
So sometimes people engage in verbal, emotional, or physical discipline of a partner. Do you think this is domestic abuse, and why if you do, or why if you
don't? As long as it's consented, and as long as there's parameters saying like, listen, that was too much today. Like if it goes overboard, then the thing with this is, as long as it's communicated and as long as it's discussed well and the boundaries are set and you don't go outside them boundaries, then no, there's definitely no abuse there. The abuse comes when you go outside the boundaries, and that's it.
Or if like, say something was agreed and later on the submissive decides that they didn't like that, I think the ability to say, right, we've tried that, I don't like it, the ability to do that, I think is also important, isn't it? The
100%.
ability to communicate if you don't like something. Right, so we'll go on to the next question. So you've obviously mentioned a lot that consent within BDSM is paramount. Why do you think people give consent to be verbally, physically disciplined?
Because it's fucking nice.
There's your answer.
I agree.
I think I don't know, obviously for everyone else, but I'm few and far between for anything like that. Like, just anything from general. But if it's been like a long day or you've got loads of like shit going on or whatever, it's
like a release, isn't it?
It's more shit, if you know what I mean. But like shit that you've got the control over, like it can take away like all your other stresses and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that, definitely. So, what do you think the difference is between coerced consent and consent, basically? How can this affect someone who engages in BDSM for the first time? Because obviously there's a difference between coercion and just willingly giving consent, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think that one's important with younger people. Like, if someone wants to do something and he badgers and badgers and badgers and badgers and badgers, eventually you'll just to shut them up. You'll do it, whether you want to do it or like.
And that's wrong, but then again, it's also wrong on the person finally giving in as well. You kind of naturally, if someone wants something, they are going to keep trying to get it, and it's up to you to stick to your boundaries as well.
Yeah.
But like I say, you can be coerced, you can bribe even, which is terrible.
Yeah. like manipulation, isn't it? Manipulation and agreeing to do it. But then at the same time, that person has now got your consent.
Mm-hmm. Like I say, it's all about sticking to your guns. If you don't want to do something, that's a really important thing. Like, if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it, no matter what anyone's saying.
So why do you think people do that? Why do you think people do then give in after either being manipulated or bribed or badgered, or why do you think
sick of hearing it? It's stressful. Like, some people just want an easy life. They think, oh, do you know this? If I just do it, okay, that's it, over with.
Yeah, but it opens the door, doesn't it? It opens the door, though, to say, oh, yeah, I want to do this now. So then they'll probably expect it the rest.
Once that person's successfully manipulated them, they'll then think they can do it again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So rules surrounding physical and emotional safety within BDSM is said to be taken very seriously. Do you think this is correct? And do you think BDSM practitioners have a better understanding of this versus the general public? And if so, why? Or if not, why?
100%, because BDSM practitioners definitely have better communication skills.
Yeah,
that's a personal belief.
You can't communicate.
Shut up. Yeah, 100%. See, let's be real. How often do we argue?
Not that often, actually. You know.
Exactly. We barely argue. Barely.
Say, yeah. I agree.
It's petty things. Like
them snoring.
I think every couple has that argument, don't they?
Yeah, but like the fact that we talk so much helps that, and it makes we'll get along better. We're a proper team and things work. It's good.
I genuinely think like we've had like how many lockdowns, and we obviously got to the point where it was just us and the kids.
Yeah.
And we still never ran out of shit to talk about or argued that.
No.
Did you know?
I actually get on better with him now that he isn't working than I did when he was working.
Oh,
and he literally only leaves me sight to go to the gym.
Yeah. And for those listening, I lost my job during lockdown. Sad.
Oh, it's awful time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 2 seconds. My mum's knocking on the window. Yes, I didn't know she was coming. 2 seconds.
No worries.
Hey, what do you want? You need a cup of tea. You know what's left for that one.
Is it nice?
Right, just excuse me, ma'am. I'm coming in.
Hi, Ashley's mom.
She says hi. Right. I forgot where we were there now.
We've just done the one, the communication one.
Yeah. Right. So I'll go on to the next one. So some evidence suggests that BDSM can be an excellent therapeutic tool for sufferers of trauma. Do you think this is the case, and why?
Yeah.
Stevie Ann says yes. I wouldn't say I've had much trauma in my life, although the only trauma I've really had was I had my house broken into, both once at my mum's and once at my dad's. I've watched my dad get like a pulp in front of my face.
Awful.
So when my mum's got broken into, I was actually getting babysit by my mum's cousin's boyfriend, and he ran away and left just me and my little brother, like
oh my god,
to deal with this guy who had a fucking baseball bat in his hand. It was horrendous. That's, I wouldn't say I've got like any PTSD or anything like that. You know,
that is quite traumatic though, isn't it? It's quite a traumatic experience, definitely.
There's so much worse things you can go through. So much worse. Like I didn't get hit.
I think that it's right though, like about the like trauma being a therapy for it, because it's been a therapy for trauma, because like I've had a shit life, and it gives you that sort of, especially if you've had like a violent or some sort of abusive situation in your life, because this is like a way to deal with it without, but you know that you're in full control. You know, if you say stop, it's stopping. And I think for a lot of people, because I don't know if you're in Girls Mouth, but this topic comes up quite a lot.
Yeah. I think everyone's in there, aren't they?
Oh, it's great. And a lot of them thinking, like, it gives you that, gives you your control back after like that. It gives you, you know that like you're all right at the end of it. And it can take a horrible, especially like a horrible sexual or physical abusive experience, and make it give you pleasurable memories of a similar situation. It helps with the PTSD and stuff.
Yeah, it can sort of help you think about the situation differently whilst you're in control, can't it? That's what the evidence is. Actually, that's what the research said when I found it. So other research suggests that BDSM promotes emotional well-being. Do you think this is possible, and why?
100%. I'm gonna describe it with words, but
what do you want?
I don't know. It satisfies an itch deep within. It does. I can't describe what it is or why. It's just there. It's just the internal. It just scratches that internal itch.
Yeah, I get it. I get you. I think as well. Sorry.
No, I'm emotionally. I don't. I don't feel emotionally involved in it. Like.
Right. So it's more of like an experience for you, do you think?
Yeah.
Like a physical experience, rather.
Yeah.
Explain that to the child. Oh, quiet.
Oh.
Go to Crisps Anonymous, please. Go on.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. So some of the articles that I came across when I was researching for this said that it's possible that it could promote emotional well-being because of the communication that you mentioned earlier. Because you can talk about how you feel with your partner or with other people in the community and stuff. So you're not obviously suppressing a lot of things, you're dealing with it up front. So do you think BDSM could cause trauma for some individuals?
Definitely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. If an accident happens, which is easy, someone doesn't have scissors, a knot slips, I don't know. It's very easy to accidentally go beyond the boundary and injure. You could really injure someone. You can.
Go and get your dinosaur one.
Well, it's.
That could be traumatic for both parties as well, really, not just the submissive, but the person who's like.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because has it happened to us before?
No.
Hasn't? No.
Not that I can remember. So I did. It wasn't really traumatic.
That's a fair point. No, but yeah, that's
no.
It's dead easy for that to happen, and
Go and get your clean clothes.
At that point, it's like trust is broke, or maybe it's not. Okay, if it was an accident, then it still could be traumatic, and it might put you off.
Go and get your dinosaur clothes.
And so yeah, trauma could definitely be cause of it. It's everything has its risks.
Yeah, it's like everything, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So there is research to show that BDSM practitioners were outraged at the film 50 Shades of Grey. Many people saying it was promoting domestic and sexual abuse. Concerns around consent were raised, and individuals within the BDSM community were horrified about how this was being portrayed to the general public. those who were not knowledgeable about BDSM and the rules and safety precautions were given the wrong idea. What are your views surrounding 50 Shades of Grey? I know we talked about it before, but in other similar literature or films and TV shows, what are your views surrounding them?
It depends the film on the movie.
Okay, Stevie is more into the 50 Shades of Grey films than I am. I'm gonna.
I don't like the films as a rule.
Right.
I don't think. Well, you know, as films go, they're not too bad. But like, I think it makes it look. If you read the books, they do have a talk about consent. There is obviously.
Right.
It's still not great, but there's a lot more. You know, the boundaries are talked about, limits are talked about, safe words are talked about. It's done a lot better in the book.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen the book and only watched the film, it's just, hang on a minute, this, you know, she's only young, she's what, 18, I think, 19? Meeting this much older guy who's wealthy, who literally stalks her to find where she works and stuff. And then she's never had any sexual experiences before. She was a virgin. She hadn't had even a kid. And by this point, she's already fell for him. And he's like, we can't have like a BDSM type relationship, then we can't have anything.
So she's like sort of
yeah. Whereas in the book, it's slightly different. It doesn't work that way. But in the films, it's like, well, if you love someone, this is what you should do to be with them. Especially when a lot of when we went to see it, it was never just over 18s in that movie. There was a lot of younger teens, especially younger teen girls.
Yeah.
Who are going to start thinking that's what happens and that's how it should be.
That's normal.
If you don't want to do something, you should still do it because, well, that's what your partner wants. That's what we make them be with you. I don't know. But when reading the book, I read the book well underage and didn't take the same message I would have took from the films.
Right. So I've only seen the films. I've not read the books.
So in the books, they have like an actual written contract of what the hard limits are, what the soft limits are, what's completely not happening at all. Safe words, that kind of thing. So it is the safety aspect not as glossed over the way it is in the movies.
Right. That's a really good point. Thank you for that. So do you think these things could be harmful to the BDSM community, but also the general public? For example, an individual or couple who've never engaged in BDSM before or done research about it and engage in it based on things they've seen in a film like 50 Shades of Grey. What could be the implications for the BDSM community and the general public?
I think because of films, especially, it's not even just 50 Shades, but 365 Days.
Have you seen that film before, actually?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, no.
Right, well, that definitely would influence people. So, influence people's views. So I think it makes it look like the man who wants to be, well, in this case, man, because it's in the film, it's always the men. The person who's dominant is mentally fucked, and the other one just wants to be loved. Like, that's how it comes across in every film, and that's not the case.
Right. Like,
for example, Paul is most definitely not mentally insane, and he's actually the most loving person you could ever meet in your life. And I don't have daddy issues. That's the way it comes across in every film.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I've just said you're the most loving person in the world.
The way the films portray it, it's like the person's got some kind of mental illness to be able to participate in it.
Yeah, like, I think it just seems like everybody that does it has got some sort of traumatic event or bad childhood or abandonment issues, that kind of thing. And it's not, some people just have different kinks. Like, people are getting kink shame for something that's completely normal. Like, it's nobody's business what anybody gets up to.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, definitely. So, you two speaking as BDSM practitioners, how do you think emotional and physical safety can be promoted outside of BDSM relationships? Like, for people who don't
safe words. Like, everybody needs to be like aware that they should have a safe word.
A safe word for like, listen, this is done. Stop it. Get everything off. Like, just abandon shit. We're not doing this.
It's normally like yellow and red situation.
Like yellow, red. Like yellow means like I don't like what you've just done. Change it. We'll continue. Red means like fucking stop. Sorry, I was swearing.
Go watch
but like, I think it's definitely important, especially if like someone's gagged and they can't talk.
Right.
Like, so then things obviously you can't say anything. You've got hand signals, shaking your head,
being aware of knowing your partner. Like, so for example, I find women, I don't know about everybody else, can say no, but like during something, but not actually mean it. Like, it's more of a like
we're not playful.
More like of a sexual thing.
No.
Yeah, so it's more like you need to understand your partner's responses, know when whatever they're saying means like just playing about, like not even necessarily like doing anything, but like, Paul, man, stop. But actually,
I need like Paul, stop. that's like
but it's just knowing your responses, knowing the body language, knowing when enough really is enough.
Yeah.
And when it
this thing with the eyes, she'll go. Like, okay, right.
So you can't take it, can you?
No, you can't. Exactly. I think you're right. Definitely right. So we're coming to the last question now. And I just want to give you the chance to say anything that you think might need mentioning or anything you want to talk about.
I'm sure this whole topic was the 50 Shades topic was my idea, actually. And it was because of Laura.
Yeah.
So Laura is heavily, like, massive advocate of crack on BDSM. She absolutely loves it. Like, she'll post everywhere about it. Laura absolutely despises 50 Shades because of how the effect it's had. So you are mentally screwed if you participate, or you're a domestic abuser. Like, there's nobody just sees it as like, nobody would kink shame someone for cracking out a whip or a pair of handcuffs, but you crack out anything a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't know. I think there needs to be more awareness of what it is. But I think stop that, you won't play. I think it heavily influenced it as well in a sometimes negative way, like to younger people. They think this extreme stuff is, you know, for my first time, this is what I'm going to do.
There should be guides, like there should actually be guides on like how it started and like safety precautions and you know, for people getting involved, and it should be heavily like advertised in maybe Google, like if someone like, or even just with sex toys. Okay, like if you buy like, say if you go on Ann Summers and you buy bondage rope, maybe they should like give you like a sheet of like do's and don'ts, or like something just to make people who are first starting out, because I don't know if you noticed, but sales of like bondage stuff flew through the roof after 50 Shades.
Yeah.
And it would be very easy just to put a piece of paper in that, you know, has got some safety precautions, because people have died. Like, like especially with stuff around the neck as well. Like, it's hey, ignore it.
Come on, darling.
Like that could change someone's life. It could save someone's life, and it could also save relationships, and it could just make life a lot better for a lot of people.
Yeah,
simple.
So like more awareness for people.
Yeah, more awareness.
Like,
but just street awareness, like a bit of paper in with what you're buying, you know, and it couldn't cost the company that much to add a bit of paper into the packaging.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Something to put forward to them, you know.
Maybe it's something we can advocate together.
Definitely.
So that's it from us. I would just like to thank you both for giving me
Oh,
your
you're very
time.
welcome.
It's been amazing.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been really good. Thank you, Stevie, as well.
Sorry, say that again, Ashley?
I was just saying thanks to Stevie as well for joining in. It's been fun.
Yeah. It was quite nice listening to your thoughts. It's not something we've ever really discussed. Like,
Nah, this is the first time we've ever
we've
sat
been together for over 8 years. It's just never.
Yeah.
It's just we're both like this shit. Let's do it.
I'm glad you got something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the second night that we ever slept together, like this was. All right.
Yeah, you were straight to the point. Like, this is what I'm into, and
yeah.
do you like
That's
it?
good though, isn't it? It's good that you're getting that out on the table. Definitely.
I'm not shy. Right, well, we've got to shoot, so it was nice talking.
Well, thank you, Sport. Thank you. Thank you. So do I.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.